You only have to be right once to change your life forever. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Christopher Aaron. It is September 26th, 2024. This is going to be a special broadcast because the price of gold has just reached a new all-time high. Levels never before seen in the history of humankind as expressed in US dollars. Gold has just hit $2,670 in the spot market in the United States. Something is going on here. We have waited for this move for a long time. If you've been with this channel for the last 10 years, you are prepared with the gold price. And I want to show you what the next step is going to be. In this broadcast, I'm going to be publishing some of the premium research that our subscribers pay money for. I'm going to be giving that away for free. I do this every once in a while when there's something that I want to share with you. So we're going to look at the gold price, and then what I want to do is look at one of the gold mining companies that we are investing in here. And this is the research that people pay me for, that I'm giving to you for free. The name of the company is called Providence Gold Corp. You can see the ticker here, PAU in Canada and PVGDF in the United States. And the reason why I like this company, Provenance, is that they have a gold deposit in Eastern Oregon, United States, which is very pro-mining friendly, that part of Eastern Oregon. And this deposit, called the El Dorado deposit, has an average historical gold resource in the ground of 2.2 million ounces of gold. And what they are doing right now is drilling below the historical known gold resource. And they have just found new visible gold. Literally, this was published yesterday. They have announced that they have discovered new visible gold below the previously known gold that exists in the deposit at El Dorado. The last thing that I'm going to do is explain to you how, if you are a higher net worth investor, how you can make an immediate 43.7% profit on Providence Gold Corp if you choose to invest with us. This is a company that I believe is very worthy of buying shares in the open market. However, there's another way to do it, which is to buy shares with us in the private placement, and you will receive an immediate 43% profit on that. I want to make one guarantee for you here before we go any further, because I know some people are going to be saying this. Hey, is this just a pump job? Is Providence paying you to say this, Christopher? You have my guarantee. That is not my business model. Okay, I've said this from the start. I do not accept any funds, any fees, any kickbacks from any of the companies we invest in. Instead, my business model is to negotiate with these companies to secure the most favorable terms on the investments so that we all may have the opportunity to profit together. Okay, that is my guarantee to you. So you know this is not paid promotion. We will start by talking with the all-time high in the gold price, and then we'll look at some of the premium research on Providence Gold. Make sure to subscribe if you would like to give this a like. I appreciate that. And last but not least, know that we sometimes publish on Twitter or X for free at iGlobalGold. Let's get into this premium update. Our legal disclaimer. Gold. All-time high, 1975 through the present. Here we are. Look at this chart. Absolutely incredible. $2,670 in the spot market yesterday. That is the highest level that gold has ever seen as expressed in US dollars. I think we should take a step back and acknowledge this first. It's not every day that we see a chart looking like this for God's money, the premier store of wealth for 5,000 years of human history. the most stable asset ever in the history of humankind. It's not that often that we see this, but we are seeing it today. Okay, this is an amazing looking chart. However, what I want to do is talk about realistic expectations over the course of the next 6 to 18 months. I like to take the markets in chunks and use real world possibilities here for the next 6 to 18 months. Yeah, we could talk about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, but let's talk about the period of time immediately in front of us, okay? If we think about gold just below 2,700, I think it's extremely realistic that gold could be printing a 3,000 handle here within the next 6 to 18 months. Can we all agree on that? I mean, that would only represent a 12% gain from the current price. I think that's extremely reasonable. Gold has already gained more than 12% this year. So very well, within the next 6 to 18 months, we could be looking at a 3,000 handle for gold. I would even go so far as to say 3,500 is within the realm of possibility here over the next 18 months. You know, this could be a real dramatic type of wave that we are in here. We're going to have to talk about at a later point what comes after that, what comes after these dramatic moves. But these are realistic probabilities for where gold could go here over the next 6 to 18 months. Now, this is good. This is a strong looking chart. However, I'm going to challenge you here now. Let's say that you already have 10 ounces of gold or 100 ounces of gold or 1 ounce of gold, whatever the amount is that is appropriate for you. And you're looking at these numbers here. Well, if we get to 3,000, that's a 12% gain. If we get to 3,500, that's a 31% gain. The thing that I want to challenge you on is to ask this. Are either one of these going to change one's life? If this is really the move in front of us here, is this going to change what you are capable of doing in your life? If you get an additional 12% from gold or even 31% from gold here over the next 18 months, are you going to be able to buy a new house? Are you going to be able to pay off your mortgage? Are you going to be able to buy a second home or take a year or 2 off from work and travel, or 5 years off or 10 years off from work, or maybe even the rest of your life off from work? Is this going to change your life? I'm going to argue no. A 12% gain would be nice. A 31% gain would be nice, but that's probably not going to change your life. And here is where I want to get in to what I am seeing. This is the premium research now that I'm sharing with you for free. Again, all I can do is share the research that I am gathering myself, the analysis that I am giving to our premium subscribers. They pay me for it, and every once in a while I share it with you here for free. So if a 12% or a 31% gain is not going to give you that possibility of quitting your job, starting a new business, paying off your home, buying a second home, then here's where you want to think about taking some of that capital that you have allocated to the physical metals and thinking about one of these gold mining companies. As I said, one of the companies that I am investing in is Provenance, and this is why. So this El Dorado project has 3 historical gold deposits that have been demonstrated in the ground already. These deposits were discovered going way back, but they were delineated here in the 1980s to 1990s. And the estimates vary between about 250,000 ounces of gold, 1.86 million, and then 4 million. And notice the grades. The grades are all quite similar. So this is the flagship project. Now, there's a reason why they never mined these deposits back in the 80s and 90s, and that's because gold was trading for $300 per ounce. Gold is no longer $300 per ounce. Gold is $2,670 per ounce, for crying out loud. So the economics of this deposit are radically different than they were back in the 80s and 90s. And that's why these companies, even though they showed these historical resource estimates, they never mined the gold. Now, these historical resource estimates are not considered up to date by the current standards. And this is what Providence Gold is now doing. They are going back to verify these estimates to show that they are up to date and that this deposit can be mined in the future at these higher gold prices. Okay? Now, if we take the average of these historical estimates, we come to a figure of 2.2 million ounces. It's close to the mid-range here. Let's take that. Now, I'm going to give you a little hint ahead of time. There's the chance that this deposit could be a lot larger than the average of the historical. There's a chance that this deposit could be even north of 4 million ounces in the future. For now, let's take a mid-range. Let's take the 2.2 million ounces of gold that is the average of these historical estimates. Okay, let's talk about this opportunity. Again, if you're saying to yourself, I already have enough physical gold. Yeah, physical gold goes higher by 12% or 31%. That's going to be nice. But that's not going to change anyone's life. Unless you've got $100 million in gold, and then, a 12% gain on that is $12 million. Unless you're in that category, it's not going to change your life. What's happening with physical gold here over the course of the next 6 to 18 months. And what I'm trying to do is show you the possibility of changing your life. This is how I'm investing. If we take that 2.2 million average gold resource, the historical resource from the ground, and we simply say that in the ground, each ounce of gold is worth $50. Now think about this for a second. Gold above ground is $2,670. So I'm taking less than 1/50th of that value, and I'm saying, well, if the gold in the ground is only worth $50, which is a minuscule amount, then therefore, with the 2.2 million ounce estimate, this company should be worth $110 million in market cap. The overall value of the company should be $110 million. What is the current valuation of Providence Gold? $9.3 million. This is how dislocated the market has been, where we have this gold rush going on for the bullion, but investors are overlooking the gold that already exists in the ground. And remember, to make a profit on anything in the market, you have to disagree with the current market. You have to say, I have another thesis which is different than what the market is saying, and this is your possibility. So if you're looking at this and saying this is what the market cap could and should be for the 2.2 million ounce deposit at $50 per ounce, but this is what it is now, the simple math gives a share price potential gain of 1,082%. It's just the math. So this is over a 10x move, a 1,082% potential gain. Now, this is why I'm interested in this company, okay? Can you see the potential to change your life here? If gold goes higher by 10 or 20%, but this company goes higher by over 1,000%, this is what I am interested in. Let's go a little bit further and let's talk about the company chart. Aha, look right here. Here's the Providence Gold chart for the last 6 years. It is breaking out right now as we speak. There's a 3-year downtrend and it is breaking out. It is breaking upward here just over the course of the last 2 weeks. This is happening as we speak. So I don't think you have a whole lot of time here. If you're interested in this, I don't think you have a whole lot of time here to decide whether or not you want to get involved. Here's the company. Once again, here are their tickers on the Canadian and the US exchange. It's breaking out. Not only is it breaking out, it's breaking out on the highest weekly volume ever witnessed in the history of this company. And this highest volume occurs only after 3 trading days. This is being recorded on Wednesday night, September 25th. It'll be Thursday by the time you see this. So in 3 days, this is the highest volume ever on this breakout. Okay, this is happening now as we speak. I don't think there's too much time left if you want to get involved. Let's talk about the deposit itself. We have gold at an all-time high. We have the valuations of these companies that the market is overlooking. This is the flagship El Dorado project. It's in Eastern Oregon. And I want to mention to you, this project is very close to the Grassy Mountain project, which is owned by Paramount Gold. And you should know that this county here, Malheur County in Eastern Oregon, is very mining friendly. Guys, it's Western Oregon over here near Portland and Eugene, where you don't want to try to put a gold mine into production. It's the more liberal part of the state. I'm not here to talk politics. I'm just saying this is where they would not allow mining to occur. This eastern part of Oregon is so mining friendly that this Grassy Mountain project has already received positive permits from both the county and the state, and they are progressing Grassy Mountain forward to production within the next several years. This is moving in the right direction. El Dorado, the project that we are interested in here, is only a few dozen miles from Grassy Mountain. So everything is looking good on the permitting side. Let's zoom in. Here's El Dorado. And let's actually take a look at the history. Remember, I said the history of El Dorado goes all the way back to the 1800s. They actually produced gold there in the late 1800s. And then this company, Wesley Mines, drilled 18 holes back in 1980. Remember, that's when gold peaked in the year 1980. And the project changed hands several times. You can see, though, the drilling happened in 84, and then Icon drilled 88 more holes in 1988. Bilton drilled 67 more holes in 89, and then Icon again. And there's a reason why there's a major gap here from 1997 to 2022. You might be saying, well, why didn't they bring this into production if they did all this drilling? Because gold was less than $300 per ounce. And these companies were going bankrupt. No one was producing gold when it was below $300 per ounce. Are you kidding me? Where are we now? Gold is above $2,600. And so Provenance got this project in 2022. They did 11 initial holes on the project to verify the historical holes. And now we have gold above $2,600 per ounce. This is a radically different environment than when all that work happened here in the 80s and 90s. Let's move on. Let's look at the actual deposit. Here's the map, the two sections that they are considering mining where those historical resource estimates exist. And let's actually look here. Let's get into the nitty-gritty for one moment and look at some of the intercepts that Provenance did in 2023. This was less than a year ago. Look at some of the drill holes that they found here. Now, if you're not familiar with analyzing drill holes, you should know that for these big open pit deposits, for example, in Eastern Oregon or Nevada, where it's going to be a big pit that they dig from the surface, gold, anything over 0.5 gram per ton, is generally considered mineable grade, where they're going to make a profit off of that. And so here we have in hole number 2, look, where they had 128 meters, greater than 0.5 gram per ton, almost 1 gram per ton. So this was very good to see. And this was their first drill program ever that Provenance did to verify the historical drill holes. Look at this one, 140 meters, now greater than 1 gram per ton in hole 3. Look at this, 137 meters of 1.6 grams per ton. We're getting pretty good here as these holes progress. Look down here, 114 meters of 3 grams per ton. Are you kidding me? This is for real. This hole right here and hole 11, 118 meters of 3.2 grams per ton. These are two of the best holes that I saw in all of 2023 for open pit mining projects. It doesn't matter where in the world you're talking. These are two of the best holes that I saw. And because the sentiment was so bad last year, remember when gold was just consolidating, no one was interested. And that's when they released these results. The market just ignored the results. But these were two of the best intercepts here, hole 7 and 11, that I saw all of last year across the entire gold mining world. And then you look at some of the higher grade intervals within the larger ones. Look at this, 54 meters of 2.5 grams per ton. Look at this, 96 meters of 2 grams per ton. This is great. 32 meters of 3.9 grams per ton. You're getting some serious high-grade intercepts here. Look at this, 16 meters of 13 grams per ton. Once more down here, 12 meters of 18 grams per ton. So you have wide, moderate grade intercepts, and then you have more narrow, higher grade intercepts within that as well. These are the first 11 holes that Provenance did, and they were verifying the mineable grades that those previous owners had from the 80s and 90s. So far, we can never say anything with 100% in the investment world, but so far, they are successfully verifying those historical resource estimates. Aha, look at what is going on now. We were just looking at some of the more shallow holes that they did in 2023. Right now, as we are speaking, they are engaged in the first ever diamond drill core program, where they're sticking this drill not 100 or 130 meters into the ground. They are sticking this drill into the ground 300 to 350 meters across several holes. And why this is so important is that those previous estimates by the owners in the 80s and 90s, they only modeled that deposit, the 2.2 million average ounce deposit, they only modeled that down to about 140 meters in the ground. And so now by going down to 300 or 350 meters, there's not just the possibility, but a strong possibility that they materially expand the deposit from how it existed in the 80s and 90s. There is the chance that they may have a lot more gold here than anyone previously thought. Not only a chance, but literally yesterday, they released the results of the first drill ever done, and they have indeed found visible gold. So they're actually seeing it in the drill core, which is rare. Gold is typically not high grade enough for them to actually see. They're seeing the visible gold below the previously known resource. This is huge. This has the opportunity to significantly expand upon those figures. Remember, we had three different figures. The average is 2.2 million ounces. And so look at this diagram. Here are the previous shallow holes that have been done. This right here, EC01, is the diamond drill core hole that is going down over twice as deep as the previous holes. It's going down to 300 meters. And so this is no longer hypothetical. This is the first ever diamond drill hole that they've done, and they are finding visible gold below the previous estimates for where the gold existed. So this deposit on a highest probability, because we can never be 100% sure in the investment world, but when you look at the evidence that's shaping up, and by the way, they're going to be doing two more diamond drill holes in this. The current one is not even done yet. Right now, they're down here around the 200 meters, so they have another 100 meters to go. Then they're doing two more of these 300-meter holes. The evidence suggests that this deposit extends a lot deeper than any of the previous owners ever thought. And it could also extend a lot wider on the side. I mean, here's a visual of it. This is the actual drill that they're doing. You look at this open area. This is an area of about a mile wide by 2.5 miles long. There is tons of room here for them to be exploring and attempting to expand this deposit. So here is what the page looks like from our research on the company. Here are some of the important things that we talked about. 2.2 million historical ounces that they are currently verifying, and they're going to look to publish a current resource estimate within the next 18 months. This is why I think this company has that massive upside. They have no debt, so we don't have to worry about that. But this is the real key. Right over here, it is the 9.3 million market cap. Remember, my estimate at $50 per ounce is that eventually this company, and that's a conservative estimate, that eventually this company will have a 110 million market cap. That is my estimate based on the 2.2 million average historical million ounces in the ground. So from 9 to 110, remember, that's that 1,000% potential gain here if the company is successful at verifying the historical estimates of gold, and they are doing it now. It's not hypothetical. Not only are they doing it, they're finding that the deposit actually appears to be bigger than even they previously thought, or anyone previously thought. Okay, so we talked about how this investment could be a life-altering return if Provenance succeeds in showing the 2.2 million or in that range of the gold. Here's how you can take this to the next level. If you are a higher net worth investor, we have secured the opportunity to buy the shares in the market at a discount. So right now, if you're going to go out and buy the shares in the open market, the shares are trading at 11.5 cents on the Canadian exchange, which is the primary exchange. 11.5 cents is the price that you will have to buy them at, maybe even higher. It could be 12 cents, could be 13 cents by the time this gets published tomorrow. How about this? Because I have been working with the company over the last number of years, they have given me an allocation of the current financing that is open to buy the exact same shares at 8 cents per share. Not 11.5 cents, but 8 cents per share. And we are locked in at this price for only the next 3 days. So the math here is that from 8 to 11.5 is an initial profit off the bat of 43.75%. Think about that. If you invested $10,000, your initial profit just to start is over $4,000 based on the premium of the shares in the open market versus the price that we are buying at here, 8 cents per share. What other form of investment allows you to have initial profit of 43% right off the bat? I don't know of any other investment in the entire world that has this possibility. Okay, so this is why if you are a higher net worth investor, you have 3 days to think about this. To get this initial profit, we have an allocation in the service that I run, which is called Elite Private Placements. And there's nowhere else to get this because they are completely sold out of these shares and they are not increasing the size of this financing for anyone. But because I have helped them in the past, they have given this allocation to me for the investors that we have in our group. So your opportunity is right now. As I said, you only have 3 days to think about this. The other thing that you get if you participate in buying these shares with us in the Elite Private Placement service is that you receive a free 3-year warrant good at 12 cents per share, which means that you have the opportunity to double your exposure to the company if it goes any higher than 12 cents per share with zero additional risk at that point. And remember, the shares are already trading in the open market at 11.5 cents. So from an 11.5 to 12, the shares could be over 12 by the time you're seeing this tomorrow. And then you have the additional gain from the warrants, which are good for 3 years. Remember, the deadline to register for this at our service called Elite Private Placements is this Monday, September 30th. No exceptions can be made to this whatsoever. So if you want to get involved, give us a call today and get registered. Remember, the minimum to invest by private placements like this is $7,000 US, which is roughly equivalent to 10,000 Canadian dollars. Let's talk about the math. We talked about this before, how in the open market, if we assume the average 2.2 million ounce gold deposit at what is really a very low, a very conservative estimate of $50 per ounce, we talked about how that comes out to 110 million market cap, whereas the current market cap is only 9.3 million. And therefore, on the shares alone, you have over a 1,000% potential. We talked about that. Now let's look at what happens when we add in the private placement. Remember, there's the initial profit of 43.7% because you're buying the shares at a discount in the private placement. And so when we do the math, when we multiply this by this, in the private placement, you achieve, assuming that this scenario works out, you achieve a 1,645% gain, not a 1,082% gain. So this is the additional benefit that you get if you are a higher net worth investor and you want to join us in investing in Provenance in this way. Aha, there's one final piece. Remember, I said they also give you, in addition to the discounted shares, they also give you free warrants. This is going to sound crazy. This is the math. I have done the math on this. This is how it works out. The free warrants in this scenario would give you an additional 1,075% gain. I am not joking. And therefore, the total gain in the private placement for a company that succeeds in achieving a 110 million market cap from the present 9.3, the total gain that you get in the private placement is 2,720%. Again, I think this is a company that if I was not ready to invest that minimum, 7,000, let's say I only wanted to invest a few hundred or a few thousand, I would absolutely buy shares in the open market of this company because this could be an incredible gain just for the shares. But if you are ready to take it to the next level, you have to understand how this private placement just gets you even that much greater upside potential. And the thing is, you have no additional risk other than the fact that you have to hold the shares for 4 months. I'm going to be holding these shares for 4 months anyway. I don't see that as a downside, but that's it. The private placement here is absolutely incredible. The company has so much potential as it is. This is one of those opportunities. Last but not least, I simply want to remind you, this thing is already breaking out. This is not hypothetical. This is not like me saying, hey, if one day this company starts to move higher, it's moving higher right now. This company is higher by 40% just in the last 2 weeks. This is moving. This is your opportunity to do this now. I don't think you have too much time if you would like that opportunity to change your life. Look, we talked about physical gold. Physical gold could go higher by 10%, 30%. Is that going to change your life? Think about it. If you would like to join us in the Providence Gold private placement, as I said, we have an exclusive allocation of this private placement. It is full outside of our service. There is no other way to get into this private placement at the discounted rate and for those warrants. And I do want to let you know, in fact, I am taking a larger allocation of this one personally than I typically would. So therefore, we are going to be extremely tight. As I said, the deadline to get registered is this Monday, but this is first come, first serve. And if you wait till Monday, you're probably not going to be able to get an allocation. So get in touch with us today, Thursday, or at the latest Friday, and we will try to get you in. If you would like to sit down and speak with me one-on-one at your convenience, you can book a consultation on the website. Last but not least, our service called Precious Metals Intelligence Plus is the service that produces research like this, covering physical gold, physical silver, and the exact companies that we are investing in today, just like you've seen today. So like I said, I give away sometimes a portion of the research for free. I hope that this will be a win-win-win situation. That's why I do this. I try to help the companies. As I said, they are not paying me to publish this. You saw my guarantee about that, and I stick with that guarantee. I stand by that. I try to create win-win-wins. I can help the companies to raise money so they can do drilling. And then I try to produce life-altering opportunities for investors such as yourself. It's like the baseball analogy. The bases are loaded. There is a pitch coming fast and down the middle. What are you going to do? Are you going to just stand there and watch this one go by? Or are you going to take a swing with us?